There are warning signs when you have shitty health. I heard like when you have high blood pressure and you have heart problems, something happens with your arm and who knows, maybe you got some diarrhea or whatever, but that's a warning sign of some ailment that's a physical thing. Well, today on Contractor Fight TV, we're going to talk about 9 signs or indicators that you are destined for failure and business death. Let's go. All right, so Noel's already given me shit. He's like, you're trying to talk about symptoms of something and you don't even know what they are. You're right, I don't know. Arm tingles, you got diarrhea, whatever. Your eyes are bleeding. These are indicators that there's probably something wrong with your business. I'm sorry I was more prepared with better examples, Noel. Guys, there are truly some indicators, okay, some signs. And I want to be clear on these things. I'm gonna bullet point through here pretty quickly for you here today. These are indicators. This is not the rule. In fact, I know many successful people that are multimillionaires that actually don't check the box on a couple of these things, but because they're so strong in other areas, they've got success. But over my time working with hundreds, thousands of contractors over the past decade, I've seen some patterns, I've seen some things that I can kind of spot who's going to make it and who ain't going to make it. And here are some of those thoughts on that here today. And the first, if you are increasing your debt in order to make payroll or cover your normal business bills, that is a huge warning sign that you're fucked. Like if you're throwing payroll, if you're paying your shop rent on a fucking credit card or taking out a loan to do some of these things, guys, that is bad news. That's an indicator that you're not charging enough money, or you're doing a real piss poor job of running your projects and being disciplined with your money. Second thing, if you are continually in the feast or famine cycle of business, it's woo, totally kick ass, and then over here, feel like I'm, dying. And then woo, we're over, it's that roller coaster. If you're always on the roller coaster, if you got like 60, 70 leads coming in this month, and then next month you got like 4, and then the next month, this month you got like 120 grand in revenue, and the next month, you don't know where the next job's going to come from. That's the feast and famine cycle. If you have that, that is a indicator of some process issues that you might have in your business. And you need to pay attention to that, because when you run a strong business and you're doing the right things consistently and you have some discipline and you have some clarity and you're consistent, it levels out that feast and famine cycle. Oh, this is a good one. If you are chasing deposits to stay afloat, that is a huge indicator that you're on the fuck boat right now, okay? I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but it did. Okay, it's like you're on a boat going to fuck island, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that like your business is whatever. We see this a lot. This is one of the reasons that contractors have such a shitty reputation. Well, they started my job and then they disappeared for a couple days, and then they came back and they didn't finish on time, and I had to chase him down, and he only shows up when he wants money. You know who you are. Some of you guys do it. And you're doing it because you're just trying to make ends meet. I get that. It's not because you're a bad human being ripping people off, okay? It's because you don't have any financial discipline and you're not pre-planning your jobs. You're not selling at the right rates. All these other things that could fix this. If you're chasing a deposit going, man, I got to pull off this job per day so I can start this job so I can get the $5,000 deposit so I can make payroll, that's a fucking problem. No referrals. This is a personal opinion, but if at least 50% of your work is not from referral relationships, past customers or your influencers, okay? If you're not getting at least 50% of your work from referrals, I think that's a huge indicator that you're not running that great of a business. There's something missing when it comes to the experience that you're giving people. You might do a beautiful job with the thing you're doing, but you might have been a pain in the ass to work with. You might have been messy, didn't communicate well, number of things that can contribute to having a shitty experience with a contractor. Next one we're going to talk about here is if you are not building a database Ooh, this one hurts because some of you just went, oh man, we're going to talk about that CRM shit again. Yep, we are. If you don't have a CRM in place and you're not building your list, if your email list isn't growing, if you're not keeping track of every human being that ever reaches out to your company, whether they buy from you or not, you're going to really struggle growing your business. This was I did a video a while back that this cost, $1.5, $2 million, okay, over a couple years when I started business many years ago, because I didn't build a database. I wasn't keeping in touch with past customers. I wasn't keeping in touch with dead leads, people that just fell off the planet out of nowhere. But once we started doing that, it was amazing how much money your database, your list, will generate for you and your business. Like every week, every day actually, if your phone's ringing every day with people reaching out to you, then guess what? Your database list would grow every day. And if it's not, that's a problem. Next one, if you are not serious in your role as a marketer, as the leader of your business, you're not just, destined for failure. You're like going to be really hurting because you think my quality work is so amazing. People are just going to call me. And that's great if you're a one-man operation and you want to stay that way, you want to keep the tools on. All right, yeah, there's a degree of that you could get by with 100% referral work over the years. Just do good work. My work speaks for itself, Tom. Some of you are saying that right now, and I totally get that. But for the majority of guys that want to build a business and have a team and not just have a job, just over broke, okay, you're going to have to build a real business. In order to build a real business, you got to get serious as a marketer. Not just going to show up when you want it to show up. Okay? Your referrals are not predictable. So I'm going to ask you to get serious about creating a marketing plan, working that plan, investing profits into marketing your business and building your brand. We've got story after story after story after story of guys who are just going, even if you're going to build your brand by using social media, you pull out your phone and it's free and you're going to do a social media post a couple times a day from your job sites. Guys, that's marketing. It's building your brand. But a lot of you are like, oh, I'm too busy to do marketing. Okay, well then you're too busy to fucking cash bigger checks. Next one, no accounting system. If your accounting system is you show up with a box of receipts at the end of the year and you hand it to a CPA that you talk to once a year, then you're in trouble. Okay, you're destined for failure. So go out, get something like QuickBooks, hire a damn bookkeeper. In fact, that was I hired a painter. Was my first real hire, like the first day I started my business. Okay, and then within a couple weeks, I had hired my bookkeeper, Gina, who's still with me today. What are we, 18 years later? Something like that. We are dialed in when it comes to our accounting systems and QuickBooks, guys, because when you have the data, you have the key performance indicators, and you know the data will always tell you what's going on. The data's not emotional like we are. It tells us the truth about our business. It helps us stay out of tax trouble and all the other financial messes that we get ourselves into. So if you don't have an accounting system in place and somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing running it for you, all right, you're destined for failure because you're only going to get lucky so long. Got a couple more here for you guys. If you can't keep people, you're screwed. People are the key to scaling your business, hands down. And being good with people means you got to grow and develop as a leader. Unfortunately, so many contractors, we come from that old school mentality that our dads and grandfathers and uncles passed on, where leadership was like, do whatever the fuck I tell you to do, I'll kick your ass. Okay, well, we don't live in a world anymore where you can get away with that and people are going to take that shit for too long. They have too many other options in the world. It's hard enough to get people to come into the trades, and then we're shitty leaders. Why the hell would they stay working for us? All right, so if you can't keep people, it's either an indicator of you don't have a clear vision. Okay, if you want to keep good people, they're not going to stay in a business where there's not a clear vision of where we're going as a company. If there's not a clear path of how I can continue to grow and develop as an employee, as a team member of this company, I'm out of here. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Okay, there's so many different things here that contribute to you not being able to keep people. Maybe I've seen this a lot. Maybe it's because you suck at marketing and you're on the feast and famine. The guy comes to you and goes, hey man, I got to take a factory job because we're too inconsistent here. That actually happened to me 15 years ago. Great employee. We were up and down, feast and famine cycle at the time. And his wife is in his ear at home going, I know you make more money here, but this factory job's open and it's consistent money. And so he left. And rightly so, he should have, because I didn't have my shit together. So if you can't keep people, that's an indicator. Last one I'm going to cover here today is if you are not paying yourself consistently an amount of money that you need to build your life, to take care of your family, to invest, to not go into debt, blah, 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 then that is a huge indicator that you are destined to fail as a business owner. So guys, I know I threw a lot at you here today. So just kind of look in the mirror and just go, where am I with these things? And start fixing that shit. If you want, we got a lot of content here in the fight to help you do that. If you want to move faster with fixing this stuff, I want to invite you to look into our $100,000, our 100K contractor program. Go to the contractorfight.com/100K, and you can check out what we got there, and you can join dozens of other contractors from all different trades who are working on these exact things in their business, and they're getting their asses out of the sling. All right, you guys rock. I got to roll. We'll see you next time.